All my life I've been considered as the worst.
After hours, drowsy stepping, hearless hermit, hold the reverend. Long distance relationships with 777s. Who'da guessed it? Feeling washed up before his prime mic sessions. And as for rhyming, it's his own.
What's going on, nomads and party people and strangers everywhere across the internet? My name is V, you know, like the letter, and today for After Hours Review Retro Night, I'm keeping my promise and reviewing Don Bluth's Anastasia. Anastasia. Now, for many people that know me, this could come off as something very historic for myself or as offensive. Which one is it? It is neither. It is kind of just a myth that is passed down from generation to generation about during the time of the Romanovs. There is a rumor saying that during the Revolution, that Anastasia Romanov actually survived the entire onslaught of our family. And now to find her, to have restored the Romanov name, has been carved into the stone of Mother Russia. For good and for bad, for riches and for ilk, for all of the beauty that is found within the Anastasia Romanov myth. You know, all that sort of bullshit is basically what this whole movie is about. Basically a retelling, but in a very Disney-esque sort of way. Why is that though? Many different rumors and other reviewers have said it's because Don Bluth was giving a solemn defeat and saying, Disney, you have won with your Disney Renaissance, which started with Roger Rabbit, but was super popularized thanks to The Little Mermaid. Anywho, I would love to go into the full-blown story with you guys, but to go into the full-blown story and all the jokes and what I could do, I'm going to save for the animation channel, where we're going to be having 5 reviews set for that in the middle of December. Well, actually, throughout all of winter, really, is when the animation channel is finally going to be in full bloom. So we're just going to go into the synopsis, voices, music, and overall thing. Is that good? Is that good for you guys? I hope it is, because I'm going to make sure that Nick or his sister Karma edit this and post this in May. So, moving on. Plot summary. Like I was saying, it is basically a Disney-esque turn of events of Anastasia Romanov is found with amnesia in an orphanarium and is now trying to find her only living relative after, I would say, 9 to 10 years after the events of the death of the Romanovs, which is unlike in historical factors of a revolution, but instead was just when Rasputin cast a curse on the entire Romanov family, although not including Grandma, cause fuck Grandma. And it goes to a whole entire story of Anastasia with 2 bumbling men of a con artist named Dmitri, and a bumbling, jolly old fat man by the name of Vlad, trying to make sure that she gets to her grandmother, while a now undead, very skeletal but also magical Rasputin in the underworld is trying to make sure that she doesn't get there and that the curse is never lifted, so he'll live forever and a day. Forever and a day. Ain't that some beautiful shit right there? Anywho, from just that whole plot thing, when you're just hearing it, it's kind of like, all that's missing are like some animal sidekicks. But don't worry, we have 2 animal sidekicks in this bitch. 1 dog that doesn't talk, and a talking bat. Yes! Yes! So yeah, that's just plot summary, and in all honesty, it's not the worst plot I've heard from a 90s film. There's Rock-a-Doodle-Doo, and a assortment of other things. I'm just not gonna go into all of them because I just don't want to. I don't feel like crying today. So let's get into voices and whatnot, where I'm just gonna focus on Anya, aka Anastasia. Now, Anya basically was voiced by everyone's favorite love interest, Meg Ryan. Meg fucking Ryan. where all it was just her being the girl of, I don't know what I want, but I want this in my life. I don't want this guy, but I want this guy in my life. I've achieved my goals, but I feel empty. I've achieved getting what I wanted, but now I've lost all my goals. Now I'm in love and I get what I want. Hooray! You know, all that sort of stuff that's in a Meg Ryan movie, only without certain amazing things like Hugh Jackman in that whole Kate and Leopold movie. Anywho's, from just Meg Ryan's whole thing and the musical cast that came into this whole movie, the voices were incredible for what was given to us. The only thing I don't really approve of was Christopher Lloyd being the villain. I expected a lot more from a Rasputin. Not to have Doc Brown. Not to have Doc Brown, people. Why give us Doc Brown as the villain? Why, I ask you, why? So, just from plot summary, voices, I'm not mad. But with music, it's a different story.
Man, this is gonna be good.
Now, I'm not gonna compare it to every single music ever made. That's not for me to debate. I'm just saying that from all the music that could have been made, there were at least 3 good songs. I would say at least 3. But the rest weren't that good. Once Upon a December was a good song. That song that Anastasia sang when she was trying to go to Russia to meet with Dmitri was a good song. And the Have You Heard song was alright, but the rest, not well written, not well executed, and I felt bad for the singers. I felt bad for all the people that were singers in this entire production. Not because their talents were wasted, but because the lyrics weren't that good. The songs itself, if they were written better, would have been amazing, but they weren't. They weren't. Okay, so with all that sort of stuff, I'm just gonna skip all the way into... Oh, and I forgot the most important thing in a movie like this. I forgot the most important thing when it comes to a movie made by Don Bluth. And that is, of course, animation.
What a twist!
The animation is the most beautiful thing I have ever witnessed in a sort of 90s film. It beat out a lot of movies that I kind of saw in the late 90s, where with Anastasia's whole animation budget being very beautiful, it kind of felt more pretty to watch this than watching Beauty and the Beast or The Little Mermaid, although I hate The Little Mermaid for many reasons. Hell, it made me really love this movie, animation-wise, more than Hunchback of Notre Dame, and that's one of my favorite Disney movies. But that, in turn, is kind of why I was so disappointed by the small factors that kind of come and go with this movie. We'll get into that in a later date. So, with just the entire synopsis now just sitting in front of us about what we can do, what we can grade this, and all that sort of stuff, let me just jumble up all this stuff and whatnot. Make sure I just stir this shit up a little bit with the flickadaris. Now we're just gonna go with the whole rating of it. It tastes like a 9.9 out of 13 with an aftertaste of a C+, and a little bit of a flavor that says this movie is at least 4.5 stars out of 7. This rating may change during the whole big review being written out for itself. It may not. But in the meantime, that's where we're going to be sticking with it. Where we'll be going into why it was rated the way it was now when the time comes. And we're going to go into the next movie, which will be, according to the list on my right here. Oh, Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street. So I'll see you guys in that recording. But until then, just keep on enjoying movies, y'all. Just keep on enjoying movies.
We make them scream murder.
gunshot, put 'em down.